Hi, this is Ms. Hurst, and a lot of you have been asking how did I create this setup that I have going on here for my Schoology course. So today we're going to go through how to add an image, link it, and have the little button setup that I have right now. So before I move on, I just want to show you what I have. I have not linked these buttons yet because I'm still deciding if that's the setup I want, but I told you guys I'd have this video this week, so I wanted to make sure I did that. If you take a look here, you'll see that first off, my image here is really long and tall, so I'm going to show you how to do that first. Whatever you're going to set up, you're just going to do so in Google Slides or PowerPoint or your favorite editing app. Maybe you want to use Canva for some of it. It might be easier. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make your image so that it is the height of an entire slide, but it's pretty narrow. Mine's about 2 inches. 6 centimeters maybe across. Actually, I have a ruler up here. Bad teacher. 1, 2, 3 inches across. There we go. But so anyway, what I have done here is I made it so this the height of the whole slide. I then screenshotted this and I have uploaded it as my picture just by clicking Edit Picture, attach the file, and then you can edit the thumbnail if you wish. The second thing that I have here is my announcement slide. Now, my announcement is pretty big, as you can see. And now that I realize that it doesn't all fit on one page, I might change it more. But this gives you an idea of what I do. So the first thing I have here is an image, and this image is actually clickable when I have it set up. If they were to click on anywhere on this picture, it would take them to a form that tells them about my office hours where they can sign up. I like this because it's really in your face so that as soon as you get to the course, you see it immediately. Down here, I have different buttons. And these little buttons are actually linked to different folders inside of my course. So if I were to click this Unit 1 folder, it would take me down here to Unit 1 Sequences and Functions. And I haven't decided how I'm going to set that up yet, but I could also do some clickable buttons in there as well. So I have one for each of my units. I have it to my OneNote class notebook that each student has, home access, Clever, which is a login system, test corrections, and contact info. I found that the best size to do these at is 125 by 125, although you can make them bigger or smaller as you wish. So let's get into how to actually do this. And the majority of the work is done outside of Schoology. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to design your slide, your picture of choice. So let me just grab one here from before we ended the school year. As you can see, these are my old ones that I had going on. I've messed with the size of the pictures, so they aren't all pretty, so I'm going to go to my pretty one here. In order to save this file, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to File, Download, and you can either do a JPEG or a PNG. Doesn't matter. I usually do JPEG just because it starts with a J, and my name's Jessica. So once I have downloaded that, that is part 1. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make buttons. And what I did here so that they would all be consistently sized is I went to File, and I went down to Page Setup, and I made it a 2 by 2 inch square because I figured I'm not going to have it actually be that big on the screen. That way that the resolution is nice when I do it. I made these little buttons here. I just did the, it's like a picture frame. It has like a bevel edge here. I put that down and then I added something to it. Whatever you want to do, it's your heart's desire for how you would set it up. As you can see, I also considered doing a couple extra things, but I didn't use them all. Whatever you want to set up, you can. Then you're going to download each one of these buttons the same way. You'll go to Download, JPEG, or PNG. Then you have to go to the next button, do the same thing. Next button, same thing. After you have all of your images together, there's 2 ways to approach this. And I'm going to show you the way that I do it, which is a little bit different than how Kelsey did it. So the way that I do this is I have a page set up here in Schoology, and you can see I have it unpublished. It's called Announcement Header. And you can see I don't just have one version of this. I have this first one, which was my initial first attempt. I had to figure out how to set it up. I decided that because of how it views on mobile, I shouldn't have 6 buttons across. Although I like how that looks better, on mobile, only 3 buttons show. Then I was like, okay, so what if I did it as a grid? And finally, I have this set up here with my 3x4 setup. So the way this works is I keep this running page here at all times. And you're just going to scroll to wherever you're at on your page. And so I'm down here, so I'm making a new one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Insert Content, and I'm going to put an image in. So let me grab this picture real quick for you. It's in Downloads. And as you can see, I got all my buttons here. And somewhere here, I have my Bitmoji scene. There it is. So here is a picture that I have. All I'm going to do is click on that picture, and then here, this little image button pops up. I'm going to align it to the left, give it a description in case I have anybody who's visually impaired. So thank you. Picture. You could always add more. And then in my experience, I've found that my favorite size for the banner across the top is 850 by 450. But just play around with your actual one until you find what you like for the size. So after I have done that, I'm just going to hit enter so that I have space below. If I can get below here real quick. We're just going to scoot it up a bit, I think. And sometimes you have to type to get anything down there. It can be a little finicky. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the buttons. And the way that I'm going to do that is with a table. Now, sometimes the buttons work out nicely and sometimes they don't. So I insert my table first. So I'm doing a 4x3 table. And then all I'm going to do is I like to do it above the picture. There we go. There we go. But it doesn't actually matter. So I guess I'm going to do it below this time. I'm just going to go up and insert the content each time here. And just put all these buttons in. So there's a button. Insert. What I'm going to do is they are automatically set to all be the same size. I'm just going to drag and drop them into their respective square that I want them in. Now, as you can see here, my table isn't really big enough, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so this process is easier. So I'm just going to drag and drop it up into each place that I want it. And I'm going to decide right now that it's big in comparison to my picture and I don't like it. So I'm going to click on it till it highlights, click this little box, align it to the left, and change the dimensions. Now I did end up liking 125 by 125, and you can do it that way, but you don't have to. Okay, you can make it whatever size works for you. If you have less buttons, maybe you want to make them bigger. So then I'm just going to do the same thing with my next one. So I'm going to scroll up here, insert content, pick another button, attach the file. Pick a button, open it, and here's my next button. I'm just going to drag and drop it into this chart. Sometimes it doesn't want to work. When it doesn't want to work, you just click on it and you drag and drop it again. If that doesn't work, you might have to make it bigger so that it'll work. And the worst case scenario, if it's not drag and dropping, what you can do is you can do Control or Command X, which will take it away, and then Command V, which will put it back in. So after I've done that, I am just going to adjust the size. And the nice thing here is, let's say you don't want to do this every single time and adjust the size. you can just highlight both the pictures and make sure that they're both the same size at some point. I do it at the end usually, not while I'm going through. So the next thing that I'm going to do here is just take a look and see if they're centered and whatnot. I'd adjust this table, make it bigger, make it smaller. I don't really like all this dead space I got going on here, so I'm going to see if I can adjust it. Boom, there you go, there's my table. Now the other way you can do this, which is what I have here, is you actually go to Google Drive, you open up a new document, you wait for that to show up, and you make all of your stuff over here. I don't like that because it's an extra step. It was the only way I could get these buttons to be lined up. So if you find that, all you're going to do is, I just do it for the buttons itself. And I insert a table. After I have picked my table, it shows up. Then I'm just going to insert an image from my computer and pick the button that I want to put there. Bam, there's the button. I can do the same thing with the next one. Insert, image, computer, button. Bam, now I have two. Alright, so what I would do after I've done all this is, if I don't want these lines here, the way that you change it is by up here, there's a border color option right next to border width. Just change it to white and it'll get rid of the color of that one line. If you want the whole table, you just make sure that when you do this, you select the entire table instead of just a piece. And that button is up here, and in my case it's in the dots, and you pick that you want it to be white. Now you could also have a background here so that it looks a little funkier if you wanted, anything that you like. After you've done that, you're just going to highlight the whole lot of it, and you're going to use your Control-C or Command-C, depending on which system you're using. Go over, and you're just going to Command-V or Control-C, and there you have your pictures. Now, to link them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that picture, and I'm going to hit this link button here. That brings this up, so all I'm going to do is open another quick Schoology section. And once I've done that, I go back to my course, and I'm going to find the page that I wanted to link to. So in my course documents folder here, I have office hours and contact information. This is just a picture that I had snipped from a Google Doc because I like their fonts. I haven't figured out what office hours and whatnot are going to be, but as I change that page, this link will go with it. And at the top here, you'll see that there's a link. You're just going to copy that link, go back to your other page, paste that link, and now this button here is connected to contact info. I can do that with every single button. So let's go to the one that I'm actually going to be putting up there today. That's this one here. So let's say I want to link this Unit 1 button. I click it until it's highlighted, and I hit link. Go to another tab, and I'm going to find my Unit 1 folder, which is what I wanted to link to. I'm going to click on the Unit 1 folder. Now technically you don't have to click, but this is the easier way. I'm going to Command or Control-C copy it, go back to my other page, and paste it in. Now this has a link to it. I can do that for every other item. Well, what if I don't want to link within Schoology? Well, another thing that I can do is link to another website. So let's do Clever. I happen to know this one, and it is clever.com, and it has my school district. This is an outside website. When I insert that, now there's that link there. After I have taken care of all the linking, let's say I want to link this big picture, link it, and I think I made it a Google. They're not showing, so let's just link it to Facebook for right now. All right. After I have linked and decided how I want this set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the piece of this page that I want, which is up here. And I'm going to Control C or Command C again, depending on what you want. Personally, I like to go back to that other tab I had opened to start grabbing all my links from. And I'm going to click on Updates. This is a nice glitch. It lets you put a lot of things in this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command V. And that is going to paste everything that I had on that little page into here. All the links come with it when I do that. Then I'm going to hit the little button here so that I can turn the bell on. That's what puts it at the top of the screen. After I have done that, I then am going to hit Post. Now, I teach high school, so I typically have more classes. So one of the things that I'll do, which isn't super easy to do right now because I don't have classes, is I will copy it to other classes that might be the same course if I didn't link them, or just needs the same buttons. So I will probably create these buttons one time, copy this announcement, and then just change the top picture for each one because that'll get you the same idea. And then I'll also have to update the links. So I'm just going to hit Post. And what you'll see now is, here's my picture, here's everything set up. But before, where there was no links, now there's a little hand that hovers on anything that has a link. So notice, I didn't do the OneNote link yet, but Unit 1, if I click it, it takes me to the Unit 1 folder. Now, for elementary, one of the things that you could do here is link it to your other course. So let's say you want to make it so that your students only have to access one course. All you have to do is go up here, and when you're deciding on an image, so let me go to the Schoology 101 section. If I wanted to, link to this class notebook test assignment in my Schoology course, I can copy that picture, that URL, go back here, and I could make that the link for this main picture. Let's do it on the actual update so that we can use it immediately. So if I go here and I just hit Edit, it takes a second for it to load, but that's okay. Then I'm going to click on the picture and I can still insert the link. It tells me that's the one that's there. Well, I'm going to insert this one here, this assignment, and I'm going to update it. And if it says something stupid, then I'm going to take the entire thing out, delete it, and hit Update. And it's going to say a URL is required. And I'm going to paste it again, because sometimes it's stupid like that. Maybe I have to unlink it first. There's unfortunately some glitches here in the system. All right, so now that I've done that, when I save the changes, watch what happens. Again, I really think that this would be beneficial for elementary school teachers so that you could put everything in a homeroom course and then just have links to each course from there. When I click this button, it's going to actually take me into the other class. So from my initial course that I was in, it's taking me to another class. And you can see that by the profile picture changing. So just one more time, I am going to that other course. So if I taught kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, maybe even middle school, I personally would make it so that they only access one course, and then I have these buttons that links them to math, science, social studies, English, art, all the classes that they're going to be having online. I really like this setup. Like I said, I'm high school. I teach spec ed in high school and math. So the fact that this is a really visual interface is helpful. And I think it really is, a brand new, awesome thing for elementary, maybe more so than high school. But I do have a couple students who have asked to take a look at this, and they do think it makes it a lot easier to use. So I really hope this video helps. And if you have any questions, let me know. If there's anything I didn't explain super well, just tell me and I can add an addendum video. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.